Gen Xers, millennials, multi-generation. These are just some of the terms that we are going to appear in our segment.
And welcome to the Leader's Edge, where we give actionable insights to help you thrive in a new normal.
A fantastic day to all of you. This is Sassy Casas, and I am happy to be back in this episode of The Leader's Edge.
We're here again to learn because that's what we're all about. You see, we're all about learning.
We are in for a wonderful episode tonight. Welcome to Season 5, Episode 4.
And welcome to Leader's Edge Season 4, Episode 10.
Welcome to the Leader's Edge. And today, it's Season 7, Episode 8.
It's called The Leader's Edge. We are here tonight with another amazing leader.
Good day, everyone across the world. Welcome to the Leader's Edge.
Welcome to the third episode, Season 5 of the Leader's Edge. Welcome, Season 8, Episode 4. And this is a very exciting speaker. I'm telling you, entrepreneur turned artist, and at the same time, a leader among Toastmasters. And our speaker believes that anyone can evolve in his personal and professional life. We can transform our life by taking up hobbies that will bring us joy. After all, happiness cannot be bought by money. I'm talking about a very special friend, a Toastmasters leader, Vic Navales.
Thank you so much.
Yes, he is past district governor, Toastmasters International, Humorous speech champion, 1997, member of the board of directors, auditor of the Red Cross Davao chapter. And of course, he has his own bakery, bake shop, Navales Foods, founded in 1986, supplies the supermarkets in Davao region with bread and cookies. And of course, I know that I may probably miss a thing or two. So Vic, come on, continue the introduction, whatever I missed. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dinah. I am really overwhelmed. You know what? Maybe tomorrow I ran out of stock with your introduction. Thank you. Friends, to all the viewers, I am foremost a baker. That's because that's where I make money. And I've been in the business for what? About more than 40 years already. We supply the groceries in the region, in Davao region, with bread and cookies. Free advertisement here, huh? And then I learned how to paint at the very late age. I was 67 years old. Now I am 72 years old. I learned how to paint, what? That's 4 years ago, 5 years ago. 5 years, exactly 5 years ago. Not because I wanted to, but because I like to please somebody. And the intention then was that she wanted me to join her in a painting session. And I said, yeah, because she was a colleague. But my intention then was just to bring her and drop her there and leave. Until she mentioned the magic word. And she said, did you know that I haven't touched any painter's brush for the rest of my life, and this will be the first time? And said, oh my God, this is my only chance to fool around because I have somebody who is as bad as me. So we enrolled in that painting session, and I lasted for three seasons, I guess. And after that, I discovered that I have an uncle. I have an uncle who is very knowledgeable in painting, and I think not only in painting, but in almost everything. His name is Uncle Google.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can ask Uncle Google whatever you want, and he will teach you. He is a genius. Whatever it is that you want to know, ask my uncle, Uncle Google.
Oh, all right. Okay, Vic. I know that leaders are made in Toastmasters. So I bet you learned a lot from your leadership experience. What were those things that the skills, or what what in Toastmasters leadership were you able to use in your leadership of other organizations?
Here's the thing. I never dreamed to be a Toastmaster leader. In fact, I avoided it. When I was nominated for division governor, and that's so many ranks lower than the district level, I hid in the comfort room. And this was at Marco Polo District Convention. I stayed there for more than an hour because I don't want to be nominated. And the sad part is, it was the men's room. I stayed there for 1 hour in the men's room until I came out and I noticed that the position for my division was not yet filled in. And somehow I was forced to, accept the nomination, and I became the division governor. And after that, the third highest ranking officer of District 75, that's Toastmaster District 75, resigned. And I was again forced to take over. I was kidding them, everybody. They said, I will be serving Toastmaster for only 365 days. What came out was 3 years. But you know what? I served for the next 3 years. But you know what? It's really, really a blessing. God must be very kind to me. Here is what I learned. Being a district governor of Toastmasters, you cover the entire country. Luzon, Kawayan, Isabela, La Union, all the way to Bicol, Visayas, Cebu, Negros, Dumaguete, Bacolod, Iloilo, and then Mindanao, Davao, where I come from, Zamboanga, and Sulu, and all other places. And you realize that these people are volunteers, and these people are really genuine leaders, and you learn a lot from them. You learn from their style, instead of imposing your own style, you learn from them, and out of that you come out with a very good style of your own making, and you can apply it depending upon where you are. This is the beauty of serving yung walang bayad, because you learn how to be very kind to them, how to talk to them properly, and unlike when you are in the military, you just order them. But this time, you should be very pleasant, you should be very friendly, and you should discover their talents and abilities before you give them the orders. It was very helpful. It was a blessing.
I agree with you, Vic, because voluntary organization, you cannot just order people around. Yes. Now, Vic, do you recall a particular difficult circumstances or situations as a leader, and how did you handle it?
Yeah, I am one of those blessed, really, because my team when I was the district governor were so cooperative. They were all hardworking governors, division governors, hardworking area governors, hardworking club presidents. You know what's my biggest challenge when I serve as district governor? Myself. The biggest challenge was myself, because there are times I get lazy. There are times that I'd like to avoid to go to places, like I don't want to fly today because my family needs me here and all of those things. It's not them, but it's actually me. And this is the thing that I learned. It's about time management. It's about planning what you're gonna do for the entire month, or even on a weekly basis only. And somehow, because during that time, the family, they started by asking me, when are you leaving? On the later part, the question has changed to, when will you be here? Because I'm always leaving on weekend. What week will you be here so we can plan our activities? But somehow, these are things that, when you manage your time, when you fight against yourself, when you try to improve yourself, you really, really feel the beauty of it, and you feel very successful. I said, what's my problem? What's my biggest challenge? It's me. When I get lazy, when I don't want to do that. I don't want to go there. I don't want to answer the call of this guy, because he will only call when there's a problem. When everything is all right, he's not going to call me. That's the way usually it is. So, and when I learned it, I feel good. I really feel good up until now. I miss the times when I don't have time for myself, for everybody else.
You have just shown me, Vic, one character trait possessed by successful leaders. You have just shown it right now. Being authentic. You were not, embarrassed to admit that, in fact, it was your own weakness. That's your biggest challenge. Oh my goodness, very few people will admit that, but you did. So you are an authentic person. That's why you succeed in everything you do. Now, I also took note of something. You obviously took up painting by accident because somebody you know just brought you there, and oh my gosh, you suddenly thought, oh, I'm not the only one who is into that. I mean, does not know anything. Okay, I can do this. I can. Wow, all right. That you are a very busy entrepreneur. You are what we call hands-on person. All right. How much time do you devote to painting?
Yeah.
Is it on a daily basis, or is it when you feel like it, or do you really have what we call a plan? Oh, okay, this is the time I'll do my painting.
It's easier for me because painting is a hobby. But I have a group. We call ourselves TM Artists. And every month, there's somebody who's going to assign a project. So we have to reveal it at the end of the month. So you are forced to paint. In my case, I just love my hobby, which is painting. And somehow, I earn because, well, some of them were sold. My schedule is this. I work with my bakery. Actually, it's a commissary because we don't have a store. We just supply, we deliver to supermarkets. So it's a commissary actually. So I work at commissary on a regular basis. That's 8 until about 5 o'clock in the evening. Not unless there are other events that I have to attend to. When I go home, that's the time I paint. That's after dinner, which is about after 30 minutes of enjoying dinner, and start painting. But you know, like I told you earlier, I'm the guy who's most of the time lazy. When that happens, and when there is my number one competition is Zoom meeting, which is of course understandable. After this, not. But the weakest or the strongest competition that I should not fall into is Netflix. Whenever there's the review, Netflix, it's my painting time. So, so what happens is I watch Netflix. Temptation is that it's beautiful, like Two Popes. I really love that movie, and I couldn't just stop. Money Heist. I followed the series, and my painting is went to Ori, and a lot of other things. But here's the thing: I wake up very early in the morning. I cover up for my mistakes. I cover up for my laziness. I wake up early in the morning. Usually it's 5 o'clock. Now, whenever I watch Netflix or any other movies, program on TV, I set the alarm about 30 minutes earlier, or sometimes even 1 hour earlier, depending upon when I finish watching it. And then that's the time I take an early shower, and then I spend about an hour painting. I spend an hour painting before I go to work, which is about 7 o'clock in the morning until 7 o'clock in the morning.
Vic, you will not be doing this regularly, for day after day, unless you have a benefit. I'm sure. What are the benefits you can share with us out of your painting hobby?
It's actually a challenge. It's nice. It's the feeling of the feeling of creating something out of nothing on your canvas. It's actually putting paint in the canvas, putting it in the right places. That's the challenge. When you are in the process of painting, you like to see the finished product, and that's where it's more like, I'm sleepy. I want to watch Netflix. No, but I have to finish this because I like not because you are commissioned to do it, because somebody's waiting for your painting, but simply because you like to finish what you have started.
All right.
But there are cases. In my go ahead.
Okay. Now let me see. It's about time we have a screen sharing of painting, because this is the reason why I am so intrigued by your hobby, because you have created extraordinary paintings that in my opinion, they look like even at times better than the real thing. Okay, let's have the screen sharing, please. All right, I'm sure. Okay, so
Oh, yeah.
I have a question, Vic.
Go ahead.
When you paint things like this, do you have to have an object like it right before your eyes? You know, do you have something that you can sort of approximate what you're trying to paint?
Yes, yes. We call it reference, either a photo or an object.
Oh,
Reference photo or reference object. But there are cases, this one, can you go back to the two Philippine, yeah, that one, the other one, before this, this one. This is a project that we had for our group, TM Artists, and I had multiple reference for this painting, not only one photo. So this didn't really happen. I had a painting of the left bird and the right bird, and this is supposed to be a funny photo because the tagline here is, "Can you identify which one is the wife?"
okay.
Dina, can you identify which one is the wife?
Which one
Would
is
it be
the
the left,
wife?
the wife?
Okay.
This is a couple,
Okay, ha,
husband
guess.
and wife. Which one
Okay.
is the wife?
Guess lang ako. The one that
Mm-hmm.
that seems to be talking kasi you know, women yung naka-open yung kanyang
Yeah, that's supposed to be, yeah, I mean, that's my intention. But you know what? I asked a couple of ladies, married women, married ladies, and about 40% told me, answered that it's the one on the left, not the one on the right.
I see.
I said, really? Yes, it's the man that's shouting. I mean, it's the man that's talking. It's the husband that's talking. And the wife is just listening patiently. And it's a very kind wife.
Okay. So, well, that's one way of looking at it. Yeah, it's very possible. Yes. All right.
This one is done for fun.
Let's continue with the screen sharing.
Thank you.
Ang ganda eh. Ang ganda. It's, I tell you, extraordinary. Wow, how beautiful. Vic, you don't mind, huh? I'm just
Yes.
curious. Paintings like this, na talaga namang, you know, it's really gorgeous. You don't mind sharing how much was the cost? I mean, because I know you sold all these great paintings of yours. So how much will one painting cost?
I have somehow came up with a price. Here's the secret. When I started painting, okay. Oh, by the way, this one is my first painting. Okay. Can you hold on to this? Okay, this is my very first painting on our first session. And when I post it on Facebook, I asked the question, what is this? Is this an apple, a banana, or whatever? And a lot of guys said, this is supposed to be an apple, a green apple. I don't know if you believe it, that it's a green apple. And I asked a lot of my friends, Facebook friends, and the comment was really funny. They made fun of it. It's a banana, it's a guava, and then somebody said, the shadow is durian, and all of those things. But this is my very first painting, and it was signed Vic SN 1917.
Oh,
sorry, 2017. Funny.
Oh.
But going back to your question, we set each and every painter, I guess, sets his own or her own price. I set my price on 60 to 70 pesos per square inch.
Per square inch. Oh, that's another way of doing it.
Not expensive. the great painters in the Philippines charges at 100 to 100, 200, 300 peso per square inch.
Oh.
This is one painting that I miss so much. Somebody it sold in the early days when we had our exhibit. Okay, I priced my painting exorbitantly high so that nobody will buy, because I don't want to sell it. I mean, some painters do that. In this case, this red rose, I set the price quite exorbitantly high, and then a very good friend said, "Yeah, I'm interested to buy," and I couldn't refuse her. This is not. I don't own this anymore. I miss it so much. Somebody owns it. This one is sold. This
I
one
see.
is also my early paintings,
So I'm
2017.
curious, Vic. I'm curious about one thing. When you paint and then talagang as in, wow, it's just so spectacular, no? Are you able to repeat and then paint the same thing or hindi na kaya na exactly the same?
I don't know with other painters, but I make it a point that I do not paint the same reference or the same material again. If you notice, I do not repeat myself.
I see.
It's just one time, like Jesus Christ. I did this just one time, and I had another cubism, Jesus Christ. I am not happy more like repeating it. Some does repeat like this one. This is the one and only, and I am not repeating it. This one is not with me anymore. The two Jesus Christ is not with me anymore. I miss them.
So, Vic, am I correct to presume that all these paintings that we have shown, it's a screen sharing, they are all sold out?
No, not all of them. The other one, the first few, I guess, the bonsai is still with me. This one is still with me. This one is not with me. This one, I still have it. The bonsai earlier. This one is the other one, terrarium. I have two of these, two sets of terrarium. They're quite big. It's 36 by 34 inches, the same size. I have two of these. I don't know if I've sent the other one. Two terrariums. They are still with me, and I have no intentions of selling them.
Oh, I see.
I'm keeping them for good. More like I like to see them whenever I go home. And the waling also. I have two walings. This one I still have with me. This is a project that we have. I like it so much with the white background, and I feel like no, I'm not going to include it in the exhibit. I'm keeping it. Maybe if I don't know, but up until now, this one is not with me anymore. It's sold sometime 2 years ago, I guess. Yeah, 2 years ago, Christmas time, 2 years ago. This one also was sold. This is a rooster. This is, if you notice, this is a piece of log cut, and then we painted over the plug. This is one of the first. If you notice, there are scratches by the chainsaw, I guess. And this one was included in one of our social exhibit where we helped the church build. The church somehow is dilapidated, and we helped a lot of us, TM artists, all of us, helped this church build, and we sold paintings with the proceeds going to the church. We used part of the proceeds going to the church. So this is not with me anymore. This one is with me. I'm not selling it. This one is with me. It's a huge painting. It's 48 by 36. Somehow I'm not yet tired looking at it, so it's still with me. I'm keeping it in my wall.
So
this one too. Yes.
Do you believe that there will come a time when you will probably pay less attention to your what we call baking and then more attention and time to painting? Do you think that time will come?
I don't think so, because I have no plans of retiring in the business. It's because, in fact, there are more challenges now. If you allow me, we are adapters of Notre-Dame, and we are producing this DOST FNRI formulation. This is a bread designed for the malnourished students of public schools. And it's getting to be very hectic, and I don't think I have more time for my painting. I hope I can get somebody to manage the commissary, so I can delegate the commissary. Painting's another thing. I cannot delegate it, so I have to do it myself. But it's still a hobby, and I'm looking forward to the day. Like you said, maybe I'm looking forward to the day when too old that I couldn't walk anymore, but still can hold the brush and would still be continue painting, because I really love to do it. And it's very productive. It's more like creating something out of the blank canvas. And there are times that it is also stressful, believe me, when I had a painting of the Philippine Eagle. In that painting, the Philippine Eagle was shelved for almost 2 years, simply because I couldn't do the eye. I cannot give justice to the eye of the eagle. So I put it aside, and whenever I pass it, when I can see the unfinished painting, I was really so stressed that I turned it around. So what I can see now is the back of the canvas. There's no more painting in there, and that stayed there for almost 2 years until I had the courage to put it again and work on it again. That's how this. That's one reason maybe that I'm not. I am like that. I learned how to control stress because there are some cases you cannot. The hand does not follow the order of the brain. The brain, like to do this, but the hand does not do it. So you get mad at yourself, and it becomes very stressful. I have a solution to that. Leave it. Come back some other day. So,
okay. So where is that eagle now? Is it sold or still with you?
It's sold to somebody I can refuse. To somebody I can refuse. To somebody I really owe, and I cannot just refuse. All right. So I have to do. I have now an eagle in the process of painting another eagle. I had one bald eagle. I think it was included in there, but I want to paint our very own Philippine eagle, because most especially because there are very few Filipinos who think that our national bird is still Maya, and didn't know that the Philippine eagle is bigger than the American bald eagle. That we have a sanctuary, the Philippine Eagle Foundation Sanctuary here in Davao City, where they can visit the Philippine Eagle. It's the king of all birds, and we have to. I am really awed by its size and its beauty.
Yeah.
The Philippine Eagle is really beautiful.
Vic, I am sure a lot of people, even entrepreneurs like yourself, are now, toying with the idea, hey, maybe I can take up painting as well. Now, do you believe there is an ideal age or a situation for people to start taking up painting as a hobby?
I don't think so. I don't think so. It's more like in life, challenges come and go, right? There are challenges that you like to evade. There are challenges that you go head on. In my case, it's just, well, God's will, I guess. Because at the beginning, I said, I'm not going to join this painting session. I'm not going to be there. I'll just drop you there until that magic word. I haven't touched a painting brush yet in my life. I said, oh, now there are two of us. Here's the story behind that. In college, I joined an art club, but this group is involved into so many art forms. That time I was into camera photography. I had an Yashica Flex. It's a Japanese old camera, Yashica Flex, if you are familiar with that. And I use that to take photos and make fun and a lot of things with photography. So that's the thing I exhibit. And then one of the member of the art club is a very good painter, and he presented in the exhibit the face of a tiger, and there he, with one stroke, he did the whiskers, just one stroke, one stroke each. And you can see the whiskers. And I said, oh my God, I'm not gonna paint. That's scary. I cannot do that. That's why until I was 67 years old, I was scared, really, really scared to hold a paintbrush, because I said, I cannot paint. Look at my hand, see? But that's not the hand where I paint. I paint with this hand which is shaking.
Oh, wow.
Somehow I was able to control it. Simply because I know the fact that the straight line is composed of a lot of dots. So if you cannot draw it straight, dots one by one, join them together near each other, one by one. If it takes you forever, forget it. It takes you hours, let it be, one by one. And then when you look at it, it's more like one stroke. So that's. I mean, there are a lot of techniques, all right. But these guys, there are good guys who are really gifted that can do this in one stroke. You know, some guys paint cars, trips, you know, in a car with one stroke, and they're really, their hands are really steady, and they have that gift of being, you know, the skill of doing these things. Me, I don't have, but somehow I know how to get over it.
I believe that's called the pointillist style. So what you just mentioned was the pointillist style, no, painting. So yeah, it could be scary for if you've never tried it before. So Vic, before we end, what would you like to leave, no, as thought, food for thought, for people who might be just ordinary employees or businessmen, and yet would like to try something new in their life and makes it more meaningful. So can you give us your words of wisdom? That's the reason why I invited you, because honestly, it came as a surprise to me, all this, and how you have succeeded as a painter.
Thank you. I am surprised myself. But here's the thing, for all of you, for all of you out there who has time, those who have retired, those who are, you know, are so much, you know, bored in life because they have so much time, they don't know what to do with their time. Whether you're retired or still working, you work 5 days a week, you have 2 days, you know, doing nothing, you know, and maybe doing something that's not nice. Be productive. Be productive, right? Don't be scared. If you want one, in my case, I would like to suggest go into painting. Remember this, there is only one thing that you should remember and you should believe. There are no ugly paintings. I say it again. There are no ugly paintings. Only ugly painters. That's true.
Wow.
No ugly paintings. Only ugly painters.
Whoa.
So there are two hints that I'd like to mention tonight. Is that one, be very sure, don't make a mud out of the paints. Do not do muds. In other words, if you commit mistake, just erase it with white paint. But do not keep on adding paint that the painting would turn into mud, right? Because, well, nobody likes mud, right? For the simple reason. And second is you play with lights. That's contrast. Just play with lights and you would be a winner. Believe me, you would be a winner. And no matter what, people has so many tastes, but still, what I said is true. There is no ugly painting. Only ugly painters. Believe me. So work on it. Work on it. Buy. The brushes are not expensive. They are reasonably priced. The canvases are not expensive. They are reasonably priced. And then don't be scared if you commit a mistake. Just paint it over again with white and do it over again. You know, and somehow, some way, you will be satisfied. Who decides whether your painting is finished or not? It will be you. When you sign your painting, it's finished, no matter what other people say. Okay, it's finished. Some people like abstract, some people like realism, some people like pointillism, some people like cubism, some people like just one stroke and signed by somebody well known and they pay $1 million for that. I just don't care. The thing is, if painting would definitely make you happy because somehow you spent quality time doing something, creating something out of a blank canvas. And you will be satisfied, believe me. Really, really satisfied. And your time spent in painting is worth it. You'd be a happy person instead of being bored, thinking of what I'm going to do tonight.
Vic, do you have a favorite painter? I mean, in the past, maybe long gone. Do you have any particular painter?
I like Amorsado. I like Amorsado.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
This,
So
I like.
close to
Yeah,
home.
I like this. Yeah,
Close
nice.
to home.
And,
And
but,
have you given some thought to Picasso why his paintings were so known all over the world. And you are correct. His paintings were awesome, but the person himself, he had terrible, I understand from the writings about him, he had terrible temper tantrums, and his partner was tortured because of his bad temper. But he produced great works of art.
Yes. And it's
Yeah.
one of a kind. It's one of a kind. And that's why it's expensive. It's one of a kind. And nobody can do that. Nobody can reproduce it. One of a kind. That's why the price goes up. But the sad thing here is this. The price of your painting would go up once you die. and if you die a violent death, like very controversial, Van Gogh, your painting would rise faster and become more expensive because of that. And if you have so many paintings and there's somebody who cataloged your painting and said, this painting is lost, all right? This painting is lost. Anybody who can find that painting definitely would be very expensive. Definitely would be very, very expensive because it's a missing painting. And talking about the prices, I know there are forgeries, not really forgeries, but copies, they call it copies of paintings, original paintings. And I know there are Chinese painters who does it very well, and they even categorically say, acknowledge that this is a reproduction, and some of them even say it's in the museum. And I just copied it. It's in the museum, and nobody knows except me and the museum owner that this is not the original. These things happen. But the thing here is this. It's more like it's an investment. If you have the painting of a Morsolo, for instance, oh my God, or Magsay-Saiho, the lady, she's one of those whose paintings commands millions of pesos. So if you have all of those things, it's an investment, right? If you have a company where you need tax cuts, you just have to buy paintings that are very expensive and make it an investment. That's deductible, right? And then the paintings worth 100 million or whatever, tax deductible from your duties to the government. So that's how it is. I guess that's how it is. But my painting is not, I'm not talking, my painting is just that. So just a hobby. And I like you guys who are watching tonight, that it's a good hobby. And you make money out of it. And if you realize that some people will be interested in buying your painting, you price them exorbitantly high so that they will not buy. But in cases that they're really interested, they're going to buy, it becomes your problem because you lose the painting. It's not anymore yours. Somebody owns it.
Yes. By the way,
You never know. Yes.
I understand there are people who are able to restore paintings to its original glory.
Yes.
No, it's like a science by itself.
Yes, they do.
So,
They do.
well, thank you so much, Vic. And this is such a great privilege for us because, this is something for the spirit, for the heart. It's really nurturing the spirit paintings because they will not die. They'll be there forever. So, and it gives you joy. It makes your heart sing. So, viewers out there, let me just remind you that next week we have our speaker who is Nikki Tang, and she will talk about how to have it all because this lady is a super successful entrepreneur, and she travels extensively around the world, and she also has family at the same time. So I tell you that it's worth also looking out for. And always remember, learning is a never-ending journey with limitless vistas. So thank you again, Vic. And
My honor.
Yes, remember to click
having me.
like, subscribe our Leaders Edge channel in YouTube. Thank you for the great privilege, Vic.
My pleasure.
And good day, everybody.